I don't know which way around.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to Goblet Games. I've just kicked the Coriolis call book onto the floor. So while my foot suffers some sort of critical injury, I will check in with everybody else. Thank you for joining us.
14 on the crit table.
Yeah, 14 on the crit table, definitely. I'll check in with everybody else and also the folks in chat. And like we had a little bit of some sort of train happening there. Hype train as we begin session 6 of Forked Tongues, which is part of Act 2 of Book 2. I'm not going to say it, it's just so long. It's so
5 syllables.
Yeah. Second syllable sounds like what is it? Coriolis, Mercy of the Icons Part 2, The Last Cyclade, Act 2, The Cyclade Dance, Forked Tongues Part 6.
Just trips off the tongue.
It's such a what's the way to describe it? SEO helpful title.
Acronym.
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up, Pete, and it's not 14. It's more like 23.
23 broken toes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My crit table knowledge is lacking.
I had no idea what the context of that was until he realised it.
So yeah, it's been a week. Feels like it's been longer. Feels like I've been away for ages, but we haven't.
It's been a week, my dudes.
My dudes, it's been a week, yeah. But finally, it's come back to Tuesday, and we're going to do some space. So let's take a moment to catch up with everyone. How are you doing, Pete?
I am good. The boys got down to bed nice and early today.
Ooh.
I've been doing a bit of heroic deeds over the last hour,
some
so that's
cool
quite nice.
Stuff, like things in the Dodeca channel over on the Discord.
Oh yeah,
cards. You making cards or something?
Well, it occurred to me that the character creation process, you roll 4 12-sided dice and then pick an archetype. I thought you could deal out cards, and that way people wouldn't get the same result in the party. So you could just sort of deal, we'll draw or pick a card, from each set. And there's 12 times 4, 48. That's nearly a deck of cards. A few more in there for like instructions, and then deck of cards.
Racket. Sounds like a stretch goal.
Well, yeah. I'm getting a bit trick. I'm like, oh no, hold fire. I need to write some more.
Okay.
But I am definitely gearing up to a Kickstarter in a few months' time.
Okay.
It is better to have too much than not enough.
Oh yes, I remember. So yeah, that's it's been an all right day. I'm looking forward to going back to space, and we narrowly avoided getting horribly murdered again.
Yeah,
a little mutiny.
Just a little mutiny. How does Yusuf feel about the small mutiny?
He's still a bit. He tried to shut it all down, didn't he, with a bit of mind powers? But yeah, he's sort of these people are fighting amongst themselves. We should just all be figuring out what the hell's going on, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Work together for the greater good.
The greater good.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You can have inspiration for a system we're not playing.
After you kick an old lady in the head.
Jump over a table, kick a little lady in the head.
Yes. Edges it, goes over.
Yeah. I know you haven't kicked any old ladies in the head, Graham. And aside from that, how are you?
I'm okay. I was off work yesterday. I was in work today. I should just book myself an actual week off work, I think, because I'm pretty tired at this point. But other than that, I'm all good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Silsilla's up to tonight.
How does Silsilla feel about the mutiny, or near mutiny?
Probably that Kasim is a moron.
Okay.
But being completely honest, like, okay, yeah, like if you'd have spoken to us, maybe, you failed the code phrase, that might have been a clever idea, but yeah, like, we could easily just shot them all in the back.
Yeah, you could.
And I think Silsilla would be annoyed that clearly someone has tried to do something to, I forgot his name, the senator guy,
Desrin Kai.
Desterin guy, that's it.
Mm.
Because they didn't kill him, they didn't kidnap him, they hooked a bunch of stuff up to his life raft and were waiting. And if he isn't curious why, he's not doing his job properly.
Yeah, this
Agreed.
whole just following orders above my pay grade nonsense. Ain't got time for that.
It's like there's such a simple viewpoint on it. Like, I have to go and get the guy. It looks like bad things have happened. Who cares? We'll ignore that.
Okay.
It's a no from Silsella on
No
that one.
from Silsilla. How are you, Ben? Are you well?
I am.
Are you in the right time zone, or have you been in the other time zone so much now it's the middle of the night?
It is my early afternoon at the minute, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Who knows with eldritch beings what time zones
what
matter?
time zone? Time is an illusion.
It is.
All the games, everyday games. This week I have mostly been parallel reading Achtung Cthulhu and Shield Maidens.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
Sure, Cthulhu, what geometry?
Is that a thing in Achtung Cthulhu? Eldritch geometry?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Non-Euclidean geometry is.
Non-Euclidean geometries, strange angles out of time.
Nice. I saw you posting in the Discord the talent that Roger would probably love.
Oh yeah.
That was interesting. Very, very British. That sort of.
Yeah. Well, Modifius are a UK company, aren't they? So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, they are.
it hasn't got cringeworthy Briticisms that you get in some other games.
Good.
Did they find Excalibur?
I don't know. I haven't got that far yet.
I hear that's what Project Mordred is looking for.
Oh,
Segue. We like it. We do like to see it.
into the future.
Into the future. How is Shanaz? How is she? Because she was talking to
Little cross,
Little
little
cross?
frustrated.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have time for this.
Mhm.
Silly man with his silly insistence on following orders.
Yeah. Okay. So the silly man who with his insistence on following orders, towards the end of like prepping for the jump, told you we would all go into stasis at the same time, but he wasn't telling you which of the 3 stasis hug chambers he was going to use. Because Yusuf and everybody else went in early.
I was still recovering from being riddled with bullets.
Yes,
And
yeah.
do not hide how hard I roll.
Eye, because your other eye is under an eye patch.
You already rolled that eye.
Yeah, yeah.
That was clearly a natural.
Mhm. So as you're heading to the stasis pods, I think he gets Shanaz. He swaps with Shanaz. So Shanaz ends up in like the military room, and he jumps in with the rest of the crew, kind of thing.
I didn't break it because that hasn't been used since the last time I didn't use it.
Yeah.
At
I
least
know.
we can blame
That'd be a
those
shame.
dogs on it.
Oh, the weird
Yeah.
hounds of Tingle Toss. Okay, so he jumps into Shanaz's. I think we did the rolls and stuff for the portal jump last week, didn't we?
Yep.
So it
Yep.
was, and I remember being disappointed that we didn't have any mishap or anything. Both disappointed and relieved, because one of them is like you jump 50 years in the future, and that would just end everything.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what the patrons did in their game.
And
it was
then
just
next episode, we're different characters.
So it wouldn't really be cool because we wouldn't have the chance to fix everything and take over.
We'd have to build a
Ah.
time machine,
Mhm.
find a wormhole.
Yeah.
Slingshot around the sun.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
fly, yeah.
As a
boing.
With a
Kryptonian.
whale.
Above.
All right, so we jump from Sadal to Arai, and then from Arai to Iwaz, which is the blockaded portal. But the whole point of jumping to Arai pretty quickly was So
That was where we were going to make our decisions, wasn't it?
yeah, we
going
were
to
going to
talk.
wake up Desiree Nakai, run some checks on him, decide whether we were going to try and do a nomad route back to Coriolis to avoid the blockade, or do something else. What our alternative plan was, and see what we could do. We have also got in the boot of the Kuda Patilla the escape, the emergency life yacht.
That's what didn't we?
Yeah, we dragged the
Yeah.
stasis coffin out and into our med lab. Our med lab.
I'm tempted to mind walk him.
Okay.
Wake him up first.
Yeah.
By all means, yes, we're going to need you to mind walk him. That's definitely a part of the plan.
But I thought just in case we did want to wake him up. But anyway,
I don't mind when he's asleep, but he might be like if they tried to like mind program him. I know that should be called brainwashing. Then he might be thinking about what happened when they captured him and all the rest of it, or what they made him, what they were showing to him.
yeah, the only problem is when you mind walk people who are asleep, you often see more stuff that they probably wouldn't want you to see. It's yeah, it can be a bit weird.
So yeah, we jump. Nothing goes wrong in the jump. We wake up. Obviously, Silsila wakes up first. Well, actually, it's probably programmed so Silsila, Shanaz, and Kasim all wake up at the same time, because Silsila would not know which pod he would be in.
I don't care either. Like, making clear Kasim got no time for what he sees as Kasim's bullshit. So I'd program them all and be like, take your pick.
Yeah. So the three of you wake up first.
Okay.
Kasim like shrugs, sort of heads over to the bay where Shanaz wakes up, and starts to set the revival sequence on all his crew, on all his squad. Starting with AJ, who is the medic, but working through the others.
Sensible.
Yeah. And he probably doesn't say anything really to anyone.
Is he going to get facey if I walk off? Because, well, one, I'm not making the coffees for him and his crew. And two, if I'm going to be talking to an important member of the Coriolis Council, I'm going to need to shower and change and do my makeup.
Yeah.
I'll sort out refreshments.
Yeah.
No, don't sort out refreshments.
No, for the others, not for him.
This is the very pointed.
Yeah. He gets like the grounds in a cup, and everyone else gets like two.
What was it? The hazelnut lattes were the best ones.
I think it was a mixture of two. I can't remember what we made up. Praline something.
Praline cappuccino.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he begins reviving stuff. He doesn't like make any sort of remarks or anything. He just sets about his tasks, kind of thing. And yeah, Shanaz is free to go and make herself ready for speaking with a diplomat.
While that's going on, I'm going to ask Hirsch and Adia if they can figure out what the attachments to the life raft were supposed to do.
I mean, you smashed them to bits.
I threw it across the
You
floor.
specifically said I smash it.
Okay.
From the
I
splintered
smashed
remains.
the controller, not the thing that was attached.
No, you specifically, like, I remember this.
Yeah, but
You
it's
did
but
pull it
smashed
off
it
and
really
throw it against the wall.
carefully.
Folded it neatly over his knee.
There was like a TV over the window and a controller thing that was downloading something and uploading something, and it was that I ripped out. You remember I ripped it out of the wires and threw it, but that was still like the over the window still.
I mean, that's not the way I thought you said it during the combat, but you know,
Okay, no worries.
we
then,
can
that's
just
fine
go
if it's
back
what it
in
is
time
now.
and
we've made that kind
Can they use the bits that are left over to have a look at?
yeah. Okay, so like somewhere in
much more technology than
you want Adia and Kirsch to
I guess what they
Press buttons.
okay.
Scan things.
Adia looks at it and is like, yeah, I hate to tell you, Silsilla, it's broken.
I just shrug and say, can just spend 20 minutes, tell me what you think it did when it was working, and I'll explain how we found it.
Okay. Kersh seems much more excited in repairing a thing.
Yeah.
Adia is like, it's dangerous to look. I've been on some scavenge runs with our old crew. We found weird shit. Typically, if it's broken, you leave it broken. There's some weird things in the horizon.
Oh yeah.
Kersh is like, no, it is good trade. Come on, look. And like she's in there. She's like fiber optics and LED coupler, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
At least Kirsty's happy. And I'll just go back to the pilot seat and we're at our friendly station, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're
before you
swapped
go,
Okay.
before you go, like Adia is like, is Shanaz okay?
What makes you ask, Daddy?
Well, the humidity and the water consumption for Shanaz's suite is up like 35%. And it's not a problem. Our reclamators, our things are working well, but we can recycle it. We've got a closed system almost, but general humans, like she's using more liquid than I do. And Kersh like mouths off like, yes, you like to have baths.
I'll ask. I mean, maybe just.
I mean, the other option is I could go in and just make sure it's not a malfunction, but and she gestures like to like loads of readouts and displays and stuff. All this suggests she's chosen to set the atmosphere in her quarters like that.
Okay, I mean, maybe she just wants it to feel like summer or something, but I'll ask her later.
Okay. And Kersh like starts saying, "Come look, what's this?" And Adi's like, "All right, okay, fine, whatever." Yeah, and then you head off to the bridge.
Yes.
Where Yusuf is, I assume, or does Yusuf go somewhere
checking
else?
over systems. My usual thing that I'm doing to making sure, just like the air filtration system's working. All the dog's body odds and sods that Silsilla normally isn't too bothered about.
Yeah, all the systems on the ship look fine, really.
Cool. No one's messed with anything from a computer panel in the sleeper chamber or anything.
The only thing that you notice about the stasis chambers is the one that Kersh has been cagey about. The CCTV is off.
Yeah, that's cool.
CCTV
I don't even want to
off.
turn it on. I don't know what the hell is going on in that room, and I don't want to see it.
And then
I
also,
don't think I'll keep down my breakfast.
and also, like one of the stasis coffins is a bit like, "Please reroute power," or something. She's made some adjustments to one of the stasis coffins. She's switched off the CCTV.
Fair enough.
She is shenanigan all by herself.
This is where we find out that Kirsch is actually secretly the big bad for the entire campaign.
She just needed to be shepherded to a location.
She's growing like the nega versions of us in there.
Oh,
I mean, fuck it, we'll just sign up at that point.
Yeah.
Half capybara, half us.
Oh, right.
More powerful than both.
Yes.
Like a capybara and satyr.
Yeah.
Capisata?
It fall over a lot.
Satyrbara? I don't know.
Satibara?
Satibara? Yeah, okay.
Like just sitting and chilling.
So, yeah, okay, yeah.
All right, we need to steer this back onto Coriolis.
Yeah, and like looking at the systems and stuff. Are we where we thought we should be? All that kind of usual.
Yeah.
Ooh, we didn't. Check. Universal clock.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not 50 years in the future, and we haven't transported ourselves to the 8th
stars
horizon by
in
accident.
place.
Yeah, so the sort of handshake with the portal station and all that kind of stuff is where you sync and you check in and that kind of stuff. After the weird dog incident last transit, you check over like the mass of the ship and stuff. Like you do all that
Yeah,
math and things. You know, nothing really gained or lost. Power consumption through transit was within expected usage, that kind of thing.
Okay.
All that kind of stuff.
Can I ask them if they've seen anything weird recently? You know, just like texting away, you know, like data feed to and fro, and then like any weird stuff through the portal recently?
You send this message over. It comes back. It seems like the crew you had spoke to last been in the last day or so. So it's only been, I think, 2 days since you last came through this station where I think we went off and we had a chat with them and everything. There's been a shift. I
stole their stuff.
You stole their bits and pieces. Yeah, there's been a shift change. And then
you actually make them forget stuff as well, Pete?
No, it was just I made him forget that his tablet was in the room.
Yeah.
So then I took it.
Stopped his memory of collecting his tablet. Stop that thing.
Yeah.
But there's been
He's probably pissed off.
He's like, where the heck have I put my tabula? Gosh darn it. There's been a shift change, a crew change on the station. There are still the mercenaries, the corsairs, who were doing the sort of protection. But the shift, the portal station captain is somebody else.
Because he was like trying to make enough money to get a farm, wasn't he? The captain was like a long time person there. Everyone else was kind of.
We did also tell her to get the hell out, though, didn't we?
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I assume they do a bit of a swap out occasionally, just so people don't go stir crazy.
Space crazy.
Potentially so, yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unusual. I guess what might sort of put a kind of in Yusuf's, like, no, like they didn't say anything about, like, we won't see you when we come back because we change tomorrow. Like, they did, you know, good luck. Thanks for this. They didn't say anything about that, which, given how like enamored they were with you folks and how interested they were with, because they were asking you to tell them the truth. Like you were the heroes of the last portal, the portal incident. Tell us all the truth, that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
But yeah, shift change. So the sort of message back, unless you get on like a video call, a visual call with them, they're like nothing since your last transit. Really, we've had 2 other folks through, 1 caravan, 1 individual, all transits as expected.
I'll ask. Yeah.
Yeah. He probably says something that is along the lines of, for GDPR purposes, I can't. Can't give that information out.
That sounds a little.
Yeah, but people could come.
But they could also be coming from Sadal or Ziban.
They could come the other way, could they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are other places you could transit from, including if you originated in this system.
We're not totally paranoid.
Just because they're out to get you doesn't mean you're paranoid.
There's a slightly different person on the microphone, and he says a ship passed through.
A caravan was what made me
1 ship, 1 caravan has been through.
Yeah.
1 ship, 1 caravan. 2 separate events.
Completely overrun.
Okay. Cool. Well, hey, you know, watch out for those portal ghosts. Boop.
Yeah, they don't reply to that. They just be like, thanks for your fees. You know, thanks for your transit fees. Please advise if you wish to, you know, standard sort of stuff.
Still got our stuff then. Gave them a bunch of nice stuff.
But they haven't got our stuff. We gave it to them as gifts.
I mean, true.
Yeah.
But not to those people.
I mean, how do you know the crew didn't take it?
Yeah, well, perhaps they did. That's what I was curious about. It's like, those gifts are still there. Wrong.
Is that it? Silsila's going to go in, kick down the airlock to find out.
Like, the We suspicious, especially about the caravan thing. Where are they going?
There's also a bunch of like in-system news updates that you get, because we've traveled a big distance kind of thing. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of in-system news updates. One of them,
Coriolis
On
accidents.
fire.
Anything about the Black Hand? The
This is on fire.
where is it? One of them is actually a Red Spider news bulletin. Hania Abu Harim, who is like the lead anchor, like the person, the Red Spider, if you will, on a virtual set, talking about. There's a picture of Coriolis in the background, that kind of stuff. After the council's recent despotic decision, we can now confirm that the conscription laws apply to Karain, Tel, Jahron, Zinghur, and the Nerid peoples. Contracts have been drawn up with Algoan traders and mercenaries to implement the drafts. These drafts are taken by any means necessary. No one is safe. Truly, darkness has come to the third horizon. And it cuts to
conscription.
An outside report. There is, and he looks like a nomad, like very traditional sort of garb, just this sort of slit in his dress that you can see these absolutely gorgeous eyes through. Like everybody's like, oh, he's so handsome. He's such a news correspondent kind of thing. And he is out on some sort of it looks like a what am I trying to say? A spaceport, a planetary spaceport. And he's talking to a woman. She doesn't look very wealthy, and he's like, and this, and here we've been hearing about how this woman's husband was taken away, and he's like, yes, the guard said because my husband was a humanite, it wasn't a legal marriage, and then because of the laws of Coriolis, we're not even, and she gestures to the sky. We're light years away from that place. How can the laws of Kua and Coriolis affect us here? But they've just took my husband. They wouldn't tell us where. They won't tell us when he will be returned. They didn't tell us any charges for it, for why he was. And she gestures to this small child. She's like, she'll never know when her father comes home. This is outrageous. And it cuts back to this chap, and he's like, and this is not an unusual story. And then the piece goes on with they're pointing pinpoint pictures and little fallouts to different systems around the horizon, where other reports of humanites have been arrested, round up, drafted, but in general, for what? The sort of, I guess, the chatter or the message board side of the news is they can't need this many people to cover the stevedore strikes. There's not this many stevedore positions, even if you did, these, if the numbers don't add up, it's all the, it's like a conspiracy theory sort of chat board next to the report. And then it breaks into you want full access to all our data, join our subscription model kind of thing. Subscribers have full access to the latest new, that kind of stuff. It breaks into all this kind of promotional stuff as you break off, and then it's
comment and subscribe.
Absolutely, yeah. The red
we have, basic.
I mean, you probably do. The question is, as you're spending all your time out in and doing stuff, if you had Jafar on board, he would be all over the data. And in fact, as you're thinking about that, you realize part of the data that is available to subscribers is some of the emerald disc that he's trying to crack, or the red spider. But yeah, the Red Spider are reporting like the opposite side of whatever's coming out of Coriolis. The bulletin either hasn't made it this far out, or you haven't connected with a group of folks who will pass you on these bulletins. But yeah, humanites are being conscripted. And the questions are, even if they're replacing all the stevedores that Yusuf has supported in their strike, there's too many going where, doing what.
Going to that.
There might be more than one shipyard.
Probably.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Like from all these, they listed a load of different planets, right?
So the list that Tania gave were humanite peoples.
Oh, okay, right, gotcha. Sorry, yeah.
So see,
Do they list what planets it's coming from, or what arms or regions?
Yeah, it gives a bunch of places, and it is pretty much anywhere that's kind of allied or is suffering from the strikes that have been kind of around. First up, so she lists Kahrain, which are from Marthic. They were originally part of the crew that part of the people who built the Coriolis. Their humanite engineering allows them to regenerate faster. So if they do seriously difficult, dangerous tasks, their recovery time is so that typically from a very sort of evil employer over sort of thing, you don't need as much PPE for these guys. It's cheaper to use them because they get better faster.
Sure.
They also age quicker, so you can rifle through them and not feel guilty is the way these folks are treated. The Tell, they were from Arai, part of the original humanites who built Coriolis. They have they're very tough. They've almost like a reinforced skeletal system. A lot of them you can see will have almost external bone spurs. Again, means they can do very dangerous sort of jobs, like need less PPE or less protection for them.
That's how being.
The Jahron, slaves from Kua, forced to build Coriolis as well. These folks have perfect vision, like incredible visual acuity, typically used for building like circuitry, detailed info, things like that. But similarly, they have a very supercharged immune system and very hard to poison. Very easy to feed them. They don't need like good food. So the stuff your other humanites don't eat, you can feed them. And similarly, there are some bioweapons companies who use them for a large portion of the construction of the things. Because if it breaks, they're not losing a human. They're just got a supercharged immune system that can work through it. That was the Tell. That was the Jahron. Ding He. So these are folks from Lubao. They are resilient and seem to have an affinity for data gin or tech gin. Like their brains have learned to process in a similar way. It's very intuitive for them to program things. And then the Nerid people, well, you could ask your friendly local humanite, because they are the water-breathing amphibian humanites from
Nerid, that makes sense.
Sadal, Kandaburi swamps on Sadal.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the sort of obvious places they're from, but it does list like other places where potentially these peoples have migrated to in the hopes of escaping, or they've bought out and made a colony on a planet, and then the Horizon has come in, that sort of stuff.
What's going on with the world?
Yeah, that is pulling. As the president, here we go then, eh?
Necessary.
Queen Shanaz.
They're drawing. Who's doing the conscription? Is it the Legion or is it the consortium?
It is. It's done through the governments who are aligned with Coriolis. So it's done through whoever's seeks the protection of the Coriolis Council. It's done where far away from Coriolis. Most folks have I guess it's a bit like the United States of America. Your local laws and customs are one level, and then you've got Aegima Earth, which is the bounty laws and that kind of stuff. And there's another level where there's, I think, financial transaction laws, kind of thing. And then on top of that, you've got the Coriolis, the council sort of agreements. And if you don't kind of agree to them, then they will also be like, oh, well, look at that. You just have no support from anybody who's supported by the council. So, you're on your own now. Enjoy. So it's a level of if you don't comply and send us your humanites, we'll stop supporting you.
Self-determination is irrelevant. You must comply.
Yeah, but also in some ways, Coriolis has given permission to enlist these humanites to do the shitty jobs that previously you've said, oh, we can't force them to do it because we don't really do slavery in this area. But all these people who want more money for doing stuff, now we've got a way
they've
around
enlisted
that.
more people than there are jobs, and exactly the same people that were being bussed into Sadal to build warships. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to look at what's occurring there.
And buy them through space at people. All right then.
Yeah.
Portal demons aren't enough. We've got Primo ourselves to deal with as well.
Corruption at the very basis of our civilization.
Yeah.
Space.
There's always been corruption at the heart of our civilization.
I know that, but this is getting out of control, right?
Yeah,
You don't
this
have to
is
tell me. Right?
unmanageable levels of corruption.
This is to the core, everything falling apart. It's hitting every level and every planet.
Do we think the Chief Red Spider can help us and fill us in?
Not here, not yet.
Okay.
Oh, you want a meeting with Tanya?
I just wanted a voice call with Tanya. Should we go and sort out Dessa and Kai then? At this point, I suddenly care a lot less.
Okay. So
one thing at a time, it's a good idea, Sil. One thing at a time, right?
Yeah, because we want our own shit back, and we can't fight off a whole bunch of rangers.
Okay.
Not that I want to either, to be fair.
So we head up to the medical bay where AJ and Kasim is, and then also you see stood just nonchalantly, drinking a brew in the corridor. Two of his crew, just one farm boy blushes as Shanaz comes past, looking stunning. But the other one just nods at you all. And AJ you can see he's hooked up a number of things to the stasis coffin. It's on the floor. The sort of doctor's bed has been pushed to a side. There's a combination of things that you have in your med bay, in your med lab, hooked up to it, and then a few things that he's brought with him. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff. As you guys sort of enter the room, Kasim nods and is like, all right, AJ, just tell them what you've told me. And AJ clearly looks at him in a everything kind of way. He goes, yeah, tell them everything. And so AJ like does a bit of like Medicurge babble. This is a such and such machine. This is such. We bring one of these on every mission. This kind of stuff. The standard kind of protocol with this is blah blah blah. His vitals, as expected for stasis, brain activity's fairly low. No dreaming in stasis. But is everything you'd expect. He's been in there. For about 9 days, which is not too bad. It's not a stasis coffin set up for anything over 30 days. So, we've got plenty of left on its internal battery. The wake up cycle, I can set it off now. If you want, we can. There's actually not much I can get from it while he's asleep. You can see he's been a bit battered around before he's got in here. I haven't had a look at the emerald disc on it. We could.
We brought his.
Yeah, the yacht is back in the bay. Yeah, the emerald disc.
That why he was on the planet?
Well, no. You've been here as long as I have.
Do that then.
What, before we wake him up?
We're 10 minutes of our time now.
Shall I have a look?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Be prepared to take another look when he wakes as well.
It's are you not curious? If somebody shot him down, if he crashed, because his ship didn't seem to have any internal problems.
You mean to tell me that you haven't arranged all of this conversation before I got back on the ship? You haven't pulled that whole business earlier, and you haven't checked the emerald disc to see.
There was quite a bit of shit going on.
Oh, she's not talking to us.
I mean,
this is
no, I know. I'm interjecting on their behalf to try and chill everything out.
Kasim is
I'm still already saying that. He knows what you're doing. He's like, no, don't take it.
Kasim is like, well, the options were let your buddy die here.
No, that's not the issue. I'm saying you've done a good job, AJ in particular. You've done a wonderful job. But it beggars belief that we had that whole discussion on the bridge before you'd even checked the emerald disc to see if there was any data there that could prove useful. We shared every shred of data we had.
Where is it?
It'll be in the cockpit of the shuttle. I mean, I was operating under, and he gestures.
I'll just walk. I'm just going to walk.
He gestures to Silsila under Captain Silsila's mission parameters. So.
I'll lean back in through the door and go, come on, that doesn't stop you from taking your own initiative to figure shit out. And then I'll walk out and go towards the thing. Deliberately limping and looking slightly more injured than I assume I've got my hit points back now, though.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm doing it for effect.
I put double praline in the coffee machine.
AJ is like, so am I starting the wake cycle?
I think worth waiting to see what happened to him. For the sake of 15 minutes, what difference does it make? We still need to plot a jump and decide where we're going anyway. In fact, we could do that while he's checking.
Start plotting 2 jumps, just in case.
Sure.
Okay. You have asked Adia, who normally does our jump calculations, to look at the weird tech. Are you going to take them away from looking at the weird tech?
Does Kasim have anyone? What's Kasim's?
Typically, he has Black Ops codes with most of the portal stations, because he's with the consortium. He's a special operative for the consortium. Majority of the portal stations are operated by the consortium, so he has them do it because they are infinitely better than any of his crew, and then he doesn't need to bring an egghead with him. Or at least a dedicated egghead.
Okay, does he want to ask them for Coriolis? Yes, we'll ask.
Well, he's like, before we plot like the course for the next jump, Iwaz, which is where the blockade was, which is where we met you. Are we just jumping as one ship? Are we going to split and make? We're going to take some time to make the yacht fully spaceworthy and do double jump, a caravan jump. What is the?
All right, look at it. Me and this depends what.
Okay. So Yusuf, you're already there in the bay. There are like this thing takes up a good chunk of your hangar bay kind of thing.
Sure.
You think if perhaps there weren't as many sort of hidden like extra panels and rerouted stuff, there might be more room to fit this kind of thing in your hangar bay, but shenanigans.
There's some very important secret panels.
Yeah. Or if they're not secret panels, it's like, workings of the ship have been rerouted to come through here, so somewhere further in the ship is a secret compartment. We reroute the water reclamation in there. We've saved 3 compartments back in here that we can say are also water reclamation. And that
They're
kind
actually Capybara Fun Zone.
Yeah, there's a hot tub cupboard now.
It's a cooking pot, right?
Yeah, it's just a stew pot.
That's what it is, yeah.
No,
hot tub and iron cauldron.
Yeah. This bath bomber's got
hot tub with carrots and potatoes in it.
This is a barbecue bath bomb.
Barbecue bath bomb.
Sriracha
Nice. But yeah, so it's quite cramped, like in terms of like size. And 2 of Kasim's crew are in there because that's where their kit is. Yeah, seem to be playing like
Hey guys.
Some sort of game on one of the flight cases they brought over, like one of their kits.
Sure.
They've got that kind of stuff. And they nod. You head into this beat up looking yacht and into the bridge. There's like blood stains on like the pilot and co-pilot sort of chairs. Like
Sure. I might not sit down.
There's
then.
probably like some sort of weapons fire through the back of one of the headrests, kind of thing, and some of
Nice.
the array is covered in bits of brains that probably would have like got blown away in the vacuum as it crashed or whatever. But
So it's like the Pulp
All
Fiction
on
of
fire.
cockpits.
it is. Yeah, it's not. It's not.
I would say
You want him to do some sort of check to work out what
Yeah.
sort
I'm
of
fine.
fire.
There's
Yeah.
brain and blood everywhere. That's cool. I'm going to scrape aside what I need to get to.
Yeah.
I've got cloths and rags and tools and things. So
Yeah.
I'm,
I mean, it's not
set up
everywhere.
for like shit
You-
covered in grease and muck and everything. So
It's not everywhere. You have flown this into, up
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
Plus
thing.
2 weeks in vacuum, that stuff would have been crystallized, flash fried, dried.
Yeah, it's just going to crunch off.
It'd be
and-
fine. It'd be crunchy and
Yeah.
Yeah. it's all
Even
good.
if it's not, it doesn't really bother Yusuf.
But yeah, it's not like when you're sort of stopped and looking at it outside of a emergency combat repair, get out of dodge kind of way. It's a bit grim. But yeah, you sort of perch yourself on the edge of a seat, look over the stuff. Want to pull out the emerald disc or just go over the flight logs because the thing isn't completely fried.
I'll just check the system here. I think see what's on it if I can.
Yeah, give me give us a tech roll.
Okay.
can I get AJ to give me a checkup while we're and I mean a checkup,
Oh, so
not a checkout.
you sort of hang back.
While up in the med bay, I'm
Yeah.
not I think one of us and one of them in here at the same time is how they want to play this. That's fine. It
Yeah.
also gives me an opportunity to talk to the doctor and get him to do me a quick scan.
I'm gonna.
That if I am there and I can help because I've got 3 in tech.
Okay.
I think I'm on my own, aren't I?
Did you use it when you went ahead, or were you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just walked off to go
Okay.
and go and have a look. I will. I'm gonna use my gambler's talent,
Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna be like, damn stupid thing, and like accidentally knock over like something that falls on top of a thing that hits a thing and it clears up, and then
Yeah,
there's
you like
a-
move the sort of sunshade, and there's a post-it on there that says pilot's passcode or something. That kind of stuff.
awesome.
That kind of like a playing card with 4 numbers written on it, and
Yeah.
there's the thing passcode unlocked comes up on the game HUD. All right, so that would be 4 successes in total. Yeah,
3.
3. Okay, 3.
Yeah.
So
A respectable amount.
A respectable amount, an average amount, says Ben, who normally gets 27 Shanaz successes.
I have 1 dice pool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go back, you look over the flight logs and that kind of stuff. It's about so it's got ship jettisoned, which is 18 days ago, to Novena, 2 weeks, 2 space weeks
Okay.
ago. 18 days ago, ship jettisoned from diplomatic ship, yada yada yada, and it's in the Sadal system. 18 days ago, ship jettisoned.
Mhm.
Then it uses its like sublight engines to try and move away, but there is something.
Ooh. It's just on impulse.
There is an unidentified sensor object. 5 unidentified objects inbound. Thrusters.
5.
Yeah, 5 unidentified objects inbound. Thrusters at 100%. But you notice, like under this, so it's logging anomalous stuff, like things the flight plan or the systems
Mhm.
doesn't understand. It says thrusters at 100%, but you notice like the
velocity's
movement.
0.
Yeah, the movement hasn't changed. Like it's not kind of gone anywhere. Reactors.
Almost like somebody was using a gravity-based technology against it.
Yeah.
Tractor beam.
Yeah.
I read it.
Well, you could. I mean, I guess that's what Yusuf could do if later on check the code, see what's going on with that kind of stuff. Stasis. VIP stasis alert triggered, which is it's probably put Desserin in stasis. Reactor spike, decompression in section 6. Main anomaly on collision course. Weapon systems offline. Pilot stasis chambers offline. Activating ED fields, which would displacement fields, which is what happens when there's been a breach. Activating ED fields, activating cockpit defensive measures, which like it's basically they put down big doors. Activating VIP stasis defense, which is like lock it in a cupboard. Green disk data dump complete, which means that everything that you're looking at now has also been dumped into the green disk, which you can't typically erase. So if the ship blows
Sure.
up, there's this kind of stuff. Priority SOS sent on diplomatic channels. Anomaly within critical distance. And then it's like systems offline. And then you've got like the data from when it starts back up again, from like, you know, like planetary detection, critical systems in X, Y, and Z, which you realize is you folks booting up like the systems and everything. So from like, you've got a lot of information, but it's all sort of like jaggedy and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it seems like 2 weeks ago, something big happened to the main ship, which caused them to bundle Desrin Kai into the yacht. The yacht
Incidal system.
There's been no portal jump, or all the like the.
But no one witnessed that.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was jettisoned. You know, escape was issued. They tried to move for a bit but couldn't. Or at least the telemetry says they weren't. So whether Silsila is right or whether Shanaz is right, some things were coming after it. There was a breach. ED fields were acted. Defensive, sort of like keep the ship going as fast as we possibly can. Looks like they tried to stop stasis pods from being used. Because the pilot's ones, which are, you know, you can
pilot status offline.
You can turn around and see these like literally in the wall behind where you would sit are stuff. Like there's probably some sort of track on the chair that just pushes them into stasis last moment kind of thing.
Thunderbird style, the chair folds up.
Yeah,
and they're
that
standing
kind of stuff.
And it just goes
and just puts them in. So they're offline, but before that they'd already bundled Kai into the stasis. So it was active. There's potentially like EMP shielding or whatever around the VIP stasis kind of stuff. ED fields were active, so something breached somewhere, and then something was on a collision course. And then it dumps as much data as it can into the Emerald Disk. It sends off this Black Channel VIP SOS, which is presumably what Kasim and co have reacted to. Then
anomaly within critical distance.
Yeah, anomaly within critical distance, and for most of the stuff that you can access at this level, it all goes out. But there's only like you're looking over. It's a maximum of like 30 minutes. Worth of details, telemetry, logs, and that kind of stuff. Like
Is there any detailed scans on this anomaly or whatever had affected the 5 objects inbound? Is there any more detailed information on that?
So the ship itself isn't necessarily classed with much more sensors, that kind of stuff. A lot of what it's been put in is like maneuverability checks and robust kind of countermeasures, that kind of stuff. But it does have like some details, like there's like mass like scanners and you know that kind of stuff going on. And it's a bit either they're malfunctioning or it's hinky, or this is what Shanaz is presuming, because it looks like the mass at some points goes, there's something there, and then other points it's like
it's not.
Then it's not, and that kind of stuff. Like whatever scanning systems is using, it can only pick it up at certain points or certain angles in the kind of trajectory, or
so it got attacked by butterflies
potentially.
Okay, I'm gonna just look at all that information,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna.
I mean, if there's any other, you can ask like another question or so, because we are
Oh,
like if
okay.
you've got like we use the Tales from the Loop style, ask more questions about your role. We got 3 successes. We just asked one about that. If there's anything else folks want to try and ask,
Sure, there is really.
And I have to ask this question: what's the time gap between mine?
It's like 2 weeks.
That in what we already know. I'm curious of
Yeah,
whether they got
18
caught,
days ago, there was half an hour of action, and then it cut.
Mm-hmm.
and
then we woke him up, and then we woke the computer up again.
So they landed it on that.
Well, I guess what Silsila's saying there is because AJ has said he's been in stasis for 8 days. By this log, what they're saying, he should have been. What happened to those 10 days?
That's a good shout. Is there any other system in the ship? Like, does the stasis chamber have a log of when its door is opened and closed? Is there something like a food synthesizer or ration dispenser that someone may have gone to and used that kind of thing? To like an environmental system or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's not the black box, but it's like it's like a stupid thing. Like, someone flushed the toilet 3 times in the 9 days.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
So something to see whether the ship was active for those missing 10 days.
Or there was someone in it doing something with a non-critical system that won't have been filed in the
has the
disk.
oxygen been used?
Yeah,
like the consumption.
That kind of thing.
Or even has the stasis pod been removed from the ship and then put back in the ship?
Yeah.
Or come out, gone back in.
Yeah.
They must have one of those.
Yeah. Would you like a crumpet? Would you?
You're a waffle guy.
Yeah.
Given that the universe is infinite.
So you start scanning through all this, like sub menus, off systems, that kind of stuff. No. Doubling back to like the details of this kind of stuff and perhaps firing up some of these systems. It will potentially say something along like if you fire up these systems, like somewhere will go. We notice a difference between our clock and the portal station sync. Would you like to update?
No.
So it stays 10 days out of date.
So 10. Okay.
Like the ship has lost 10 days.
10 days. And maybe it was taken
Well,
somewhere.
that's not long. It's not like you can completely attach a whole bunch of weird cyber bioware to a guy's brain and brainwash him entirely in that time, is it?
Yeah, but I'm thinking like gravity weapon, right? Gravity affects time, right? Relativity. So has something weird gone on. Like super
I think we can
weird.
safely say that something weird has gone on.
I mean,
the level of weirdness.
Double
I don't think
weird.
it's. I doubt it's the relativity effect on.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to that from me.
Space time, but well, I don't know. He's a member of the Coriolis Council.
Maybe.
I'm getting too better
it.
about it. I need to be shenanigans.
I'm going to come back. Because
none of us are this kind of clever.
And we're not all in the room together anyway.
Yeah. So as you leave the hangar, Yusuf, like you bump into Silsila, who's walking that way.
Hey, Sil. I managed to when you kick the computer, sometimes it works better, But like
I call it baby.
I don't need to know. There's some weird shit going on with this yacht, right? There's 10 days missing, like from the clock to our clock, not just unaccounted activity, but like time missing. And when it went down, when it escaped 18 days ago, in the Sadal system, 5 unidentified objects were coming towards it. And a whole load of shit
Missiles.
happened. No, because then they were like 100% thrust, but not moving. Like some weird, I don't know, some weird shit going on. I'm thinking butterflies. But I'm a bit paranoid right now. I've got to tell you, boss, this is freaking me
Kasim
out.
with us or not?
No, Kasim probably isn't.
I thought
Unless...
Kasim went with
And then,
Silsilla.
like,
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's what made me ask.
Yeah.
I'm probably just saying it anyway.
I didn't say he was there. Like, there
Okay.
must be a level of, like, potential bickering in Medbay at some perhaps.
Sure,
like,
sure.
as Shanaz
I
is,
don't mind
like...
if Kasim is there because Yusuf would have just said it anyway,
Okay.
Yeah,
unless
it's
Sil
not
stopped him
heated,
at any
I'd be
point.
like, not going to mention the butterflies. The way Kasim feels about those is that it's a curse and it's bad luck. I think we are going to mention that, hey, look, this ship was taken 18 days ago. There's a 10-day gap before we turn it back on.
Like, he's been in there for 8 days, they said. It happened 18 days ago.
Yeah,
So,
where
like,
has he been? Yeah.
or
Okay, we'll leave that part. We can talk about that part. Well, I think Kasim's strictly a mundane sort of guy.
yeah, sure, someone's fiddled with the
philosophical,
clocks,
theological
or
one.
yeah.
Yeah, the,
All right,
the
I'll
system
just
crashed.
message him
We
and
need to,
say,
like, the Emerald Disc will confirm the actual chronology, that kind of stuff. EMP weapons.
Yeah. So I guess we'll offer him to come look at it, give him a brief summary of what it is.
Okay. Sure.
Got attacked. Maybe attractor beams a thing in Coriolis?
I don't think they are,
Okay.
no.
I don't know. I will mention maybe grab weapons then. What do you think, Yusuf? Like, reading suggests some odd things.
It
But anyway.
feels like the readouts are weird, right? So either like it was faulty and that like the power wasn't actually flowing to the thrusters and it thought it was, or they were under full thrust but not moving. And that's like, you know, hinky. Yeah.
Cool. I'm just going to take a moment to say hello to all the folks who just jumped in from Modiphius.
Hello.
Hi, folks. Yeah, we're having a weird discussion about weird space things partway through the Coriolis campaign. But yeah, I caught some of the Star Trek Adventures stream you were doing. Sounds like it's going to be fun because I love Narinder Station and the Shackleton Advance. We've been there. Here.
We have.
We've played some of, I don't know whether you folks are going to do it, but we've played some of the Tikal saga with our Ashton, the Federation ship Ashton. But anyway, let's get back to a different space.
And we've just been playing Acton Cthulhu on the channel, right?
Yeah. We've been playing Acton Cthulhu on Thursday nights over in North America time.
And we're going to do Conan soon on Thursday
Conan,
nights in North America.
There's lots of...
And June on Thursday.
And June on Thursday.
June.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, kicking off on Thursday, June.
Oh, wow.
So it's like Modify us.
Ouch. That was...
I'm not going to apologise. It came into my head. I was like...
I'm going to do it. It's
awesome.
That's in your brains now.
True dad joke there going forwards. But yeah, plenty of 2D20 action on Goblet Games. Stick around, we'll give you more details later because we have to get back to pseudo-science in space kind of thing. Where Shanaz, I guess at some point you finish bickering, or Kasim gives up bickering given that he's probably taken a couple of stress points.
Yeah, he's not going to bicker along with Shanaz because he'll be unconscious if he tries.
Yeah, and makes out down towards wherever Silsilla is at. And then leaves you with AJ, the stasis Desrin Kai. And AJ is like, can I help? Are you okay?
I need you to give me a quick medical scan.
Yeah, I can do that. Anything specific or just generic health? And you can see he's trying to be like delicate. Like I'm not fully trained in full courtesan.
Nothing like that. Don't worry about that.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, mostly I do battlefield medicurge.
This is more liver, kidney, possibly organ function. I've been drinking a lot of water, very thirsty.
Okay. Yeah, we can look over that. He gestures to like the doctor's chair, the patient sort of chair, which is pushed over in a really odd position, rather the stasis coffin is on the floor. Yeah, hop up. I'll just and he says it very carefully, right? He says, "I'm not deactivating anything on the VIP. These are just diagnostic."
okay.
Like he's very like specific. Like I'm not killing anyone here or
Don't worry.
doing anything dodgy. Talks through all the bits and pieces he's sort of doing. And then
any awkwardness and discomfort will soon be resolved. Fear not.
Okay.
I know that Commander Kasim is just doing what he feels is right.
He's like, yeah. I'm just going to unplug this. And yeah, he moves some stuff around. And as he's doing it, he very much talks you through what he's doing in a sort of medicurge kind of manner. And I have 8 6, please. So he's rolling on your behalf, which means if he pushes, we'll gain darkness points. He has got 1 success on 8 dice. Do you want him to push the roll or not? I think that.
Yes, I think so.
Always.
15 is rookie numbers, right?
Graham's like, yeah, do it.
Darkness points
We need
don't
to get
count
over
until they're
30.
in the 20s.
Well, that didn't help at all. I'm sorry to say.
Always.
Oh, that's suspicious.
No, look, my able assistant can come here and check it out.
It's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No, they're all 6s. She's just lying. So not Kasim, AJ looks over this stuff, brings like scanners, takes temperatures, gets you to spit in a jar kind of thing, probably gives you another thing, sends you off to use the bathroom, come back with there's all kinds of like annoying tests. It takes him a little while. And he's like, at the end of it, it takes a good 20, 30 minutes to do all these like sub tests and bits and pieces and that kind of stuff. And he's like, he pulls up perhaps like a screenshot of, or, like a still from one of the scans. And then on some of the other equipment, he shows you like different readings. And he's like, it looks like you've got some sort of fungus. Like it's quite pervasive. It's cordyceps. Yeah, we're gonna reuse The Last of Us not The Last of Us, The Walking Dead to play The Last of Us. What we're gonna do, and I've just killed everybody off. Like he points out, like it's some sort of fungal, and he gestures to like some of the tissue. It's not near like your kidneys or that kind of stuff. It's like just, I don't know, like a bottom bit of lung and perhaps a little bit of like muscle on your leg that have got this sort of fungal kind of spongy. Like if we had a proper surgical bay, like we can do trauma surgery and things here, but I'd maybe suggest a biopsy on some of these areas if you can get to a better place. It looks like I wouldn't care, but that's potentially why. Like, potentially your system is trying to. And he's like, he stops for a minute and he says, "I know we've been to. You haven't had clients who are, and he's trying to ask you, basically, have you had dodgy, weird clients that have given you
Yes,
some
of
sort
course
of
I've had dodgy, weird clients, but
space STD?
no, not that.
Yeah, he's like, have you? I mean, I don't. I've never treated a
We have policies and protocols in place for that kind of thing, and it would be in very poor form for me to continue about my duties and my role were I infected in any such way. No, this is certainly since my last client contact.
Oh, good. Bad. I don't know. Look,
Although you might want to check over, and I'll tell him the names of the 2 soldiers.
one of them is stood outside. He's like, yeah, all right. Good to know. Look,
It shouldn't be something transmissible that way, I would hope.
look, I can give you some. You quite well stocked, so there's like some broad spectrum antibiotics. Is there any other, like, he's probably asked you like some symptoms and that kind of stuff, like trying to, he's like, try not to drink too much water, that's technically bad for you, so blah blah blah. He goes through generic doctor, but he's not like, he's a combat medcourge. He's mostly dealing with the insides have come out, put them back in.
Not there's extra bits on the inside. That's
Yeah.
not meant to happen.
Yeah, he is. I will give you morphine and get you to a real medicurge kind of guy.
Only amateurs get disemboweled. I've been emboweled. It's much worse.
Yeah.
More bowels put in.
Yeah. So he's like, you've got some sort of spongy,
Emboweled.
spongy, fungus-like areas, bottom of your lung, bit of your butt. It looks like they are, probably like.
Well, at least that part's insured.
Yeah. Yeah. But he suggests getting to somewhere where you can get a biopsy or someone, and he gives you a bunch of basic medications to just sort of
broad spectrum antifungals and
that kind of stuff. And he's like, look, if it gets serious, I'm afraid I'm gonna suggest we put you in a stasis coffin and get you to somebody who can do more than me. Like, this is
understandable. This isn't something that's been terribly progressive, as near as I can tell. I've just been a little out of sorts since the last jump we did.
He is that the jump where the dog things came?
Yes. Yeah, that one. You don't think it's come from them, do you?
I mean, the darkness between the stars manifest in the world of the wakeful.
It's true.
I mean,
but they didn't touch me.
But you could maybe spend some time in a chapel, perhaps the.
That's a very sound idea.
Tears take mercy on you. I've just put a weird blue beer. That's what Graham's like.
Wow.
Very blue.
A lot of punch to it.
Okay.
Andorian ale.
Yeah, it's Andorian ale.
Half the milk.
No thanks. But yeah, AJ is like pretty disturbed, also slightly useless in this situation.
I shouldn't worry about it too much. Whatever it is, the only symptom I've had is being slightly more thirsty, and knowing that I don't have any kind of genetic disorder or anything like that at this time is more than sufficient. Thank you for your assistance.
Yeah, it's not a botched what did we have? We had the nails put in, and
we had a few bits and pieces of biomorph work done. Yeah,
the biosculptors have not botched. Like, your genetic code is proprietary and functioning as expected. But he does indeed call the other guy in, like, get in here and come and pee in a pot. What are you talking about? Like, and he's like, what are you told you about talking about? And all this sort of stuff as you Avasarala swoosh out, I no doubt.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the rest of them haven't come back yet,
Yeah.
then they need to be found.
So are you folks like talking in the corridor not far from the hangar, the cargo bay?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Cassim wants to go.
I mean, he will. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 10-day gap.
You know, I've put it on my tabula so that it's kind of a bit more
Yeah,
portable.
the basic data you can, you
Yeah,
could go to
like the timeline, just like, you know, data points.
yeah, you can sit in the cantina and just sort of spread it out onto a couple of different little
Sure.
tabula or
Yeah.
that kind of stuff to be like, all right, you sync this up with that and the other. Like
So the log shows it was 18 days ago that the escape pod escaped,
mhm.
and he went in,
Yeah, okay.
but AJ is saying he's only been in there
8 days.
8 days. So
So
there's like 10-day gap. So either he got out, walked around, got back in, and he's been in there 8 days, or I don't know, something else.
They had him.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, but if so
What
he
does this guy know? I mean, why would no? And I'll sort of gesture at Silsilla and Cassim and be like, does anyone have a reason to like
Yeah, maybe
really
it's
go
what he
for this
can
guy?
do because of the voting and all the rest of it. I don't know if it makes a difference, to be honest with you. We don't know who or what took him for 10 days.
throwing
Yeah.
dice everywhere, sorry.
And we don't know what the modifications to his pod were.
True.
I'll quickly message Kirsch. Does she have any idea? No problems if not.
Kirsch, Kirsch is like, you want me to come up and talk to you or
Yeah, I do actually.
do Kirsch and Adia come up like, you know, Brent and Parker sort of thing?
And I'll be like, you know,
Um,
giving them the don't say any of the weird shit in front of the mutineer.
dear.
and Adia
eyeball.
gets it, but
Yeah.
Can
Kirsch,
you do that in the format
Sure.
of smell?
yeah, Kirsch does not get the subtleties of this. So
It's fine.
Adia is like, okay, so we've got projecting screens, a holding system that it will keep it in place, so it's going to be orientated whatever angle it's at. Like, it's blasting out a pretty high like lumens. Like it's bright when you switch it on. And Kirsty's like, yes, it's very bright. We could put it on the, you know, that kind of stuff. Put it outside, see for age, you know, that kind of stuff. And Adia's like, no, look, we don't need to do that. But it's bright. It's like super saturated.
Like, it when he,
And Adia's like, who sees what when they're asleep?
I don't know. And I close my eyes. Go through.
I mean, yeah. Like, do you want us to do it?
Oh no. Unless you want to have a go,
Like,
Cassie.
why would you need a screen that bright?
There's no, unless you're trying to send messages from far away.
I know.
It's memetological warfare.
And
Who and what now?
Cassim's like, of course, a courtesan would know all about meme warfare.
It's
You-
memeturgy.
You're the only folks who still employ that.
Right, and that's why you can
Apparently,
purchase
everybody.
on the open market a whole set of electronic memeturgical warfare, which certainly isn't deployed in any ships.
Like,
Just because I can identify it, that doesn't mean I'm responsible for it. But yes, this to me sounds like very crude memeturgical warfare techniques.
What, pumping light patterns into his brain through his closed eyelids to like make him think things?
Your eyes still receive light, even
No,
when they're
sure,
closed.
but like that's what you mean, right? Sorry, I'm
Yes.
just trying to like asking a stupid question.
That would
but
be a
I'm just trying
portion
to
of
make
it. I suspect there's probably an audio component as
Yeah,
well, maybe
right,
some
okay.
way of affecting his brainwave state. It would be very easy if someone's in an alpha wave state already to be able to pump whatever thoughts you want in there. You become very suggestible at that point.
I was just thinking butterflies are cool, but that's way worse.
Adia's like, probably. With the frustrating thing about it all, and they gesture to what is essentially like the hard drive, like the information sort of thing. This is in a programming language I don't know. Like
What?
like it's not even.
You don't understand it.
Yeah, but I can't understand it.
It's like in a weird like.
And they gesture for like a tabula and start plugging, pairing things, plugging things together. And they do that probably that thing they do in film, like this is HTML and this is JavaScript.
Yeah.
And they demonstrate half a dozen programming languages found around the horizon. Like, this is what we prefer on our ship because we were made in this shipyard. This is what these folks, but they're all sort of known. Like they teach these in universities. This is outdated. This blah blah blah. They bring up the one that's attached to this sort of thing. And it's like, looking at the Matrix compared to looking at base HTML. It's radically weird and different. The script, like it's not like the tabula is struggling because it doesn't know the, when you type
what the icons and the symbols are.
the symbol, just that kind
It's
of
not
stuff.
just like Cyrillic. It's like something beyond.
So it's throwing up garbage, and so, like, you're probably going to say this is a bad idea, Shanaz, but when we've plugged this and they gesture into that, like, Kirsch, you do it. Like, and even with Adia.
Hang on, you haven't plugged that shit into the ship though, right?
Exactly.
Like, so there is still, like, even Adia, who is a humanite, is still slightly like, Kirsch is the more less valuable one because they're a Skavaran, that kind of like, they're best mates, but still there's that level of hierarchy. And Kirsch is like, okay, whatever. Kind
like
of
Laurel
thing.
and Hardy.
Yeah. And it comes up with like it flashes for a moment and you see just how bright it is. Even through like your hands over your eyes sort of thing. You see like that red with lines.
I just don't want to get brainwashed.
but yeah, you were asking before, like how bright was it? And you sort of see like the red and then the dark spot, which you afterwards realize.
And see your bones.
See my bones? Like that's how bright the screen was. It goes off, and then there is like this gold sort of script moving across the screen. That is not a language any folks here have seen or like.
Is the gold color a common theme?
It seems to be like, like all the stuff in the Matrix was green. This seems to just prefer like a gold.
What color were the butterflies? Yellowy gold?
Yeah, yellowy gold.
Okay.
Can I make a culture roll to see if we know anything from really, really old stories?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, make a culture roll.
I'm thoroughly impressed by how careless of Adia and Kirsch have been.
3 successes.
Ooh. All right. So,
nice.
There's probably been like some point where someone has claimed to have had an actual paper book from old Al-Ada. And the script that's on this screen looks like you've been to a gallery showing of something. An actual paper book from old Earth came all the way on the station ship, on the, what was it called? What was the Coriolis before it was?
Zenith.
The Zenith, yes. So like one of the old families, possibly even at the, the Cyclade party where you were all the shiz, like, come and look at this kind of thing. We've got these old artifacts, aren't we cool? And yeah, it's that Arabic script that you recognize. You can't read any of it because it's in old Earth, weird language. It's gone, it's not even modern.
It's Fortran.
Yeah, even modern Zeni is not the same.
Well, not to upset anybody, but that's an old Arden script. I can't read it. I've seen it. I recognize it. There are very few people in the Horizon who would, but that is the writing of the
Of
birthplace
the
of
ancient
mankind.
past.
And Kasim is like, are you listening to yourselves?
All the time.
Is this?
We're not saying, Kasim,
Commander
we're
Kasim,
not saying,
this is my job.
we're not
This
saying
is
it
what I
makes
am told to
sense.
know.
We're like saying what's in front of us, and then we have to figure it out.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
And he
Shanaz
just,
is not saying someone from ancient Earth has written this.
the first Horizon have stolen the ship that Desra and Kai was on for 10 days and gave it back with weird technology to
Pumping messages into his brain.
use mematurgy to what ends? To make us all go home? Like,
What's to say that it was from Old Arda?
we're cut
Just
off
because
from...
it's the script from Old Arda does not mean it is still
Yeah.
used by it. The fact that I can
Maybe they're
recognize
just-
it means that other people in this Horizon could also recognize it. It could be being used as a cipher by people locally in an attempt
It's just
to
very obscure,
throw
right?
people off
Shanaz?
and make it look like there was something deeper and scarier going on. We're not fools.
Yeah,
Our
Cas-
job here is to find out what is actually happening, to take these ridiculous, nonsensical clues and to derive patterns that can be made sense of from them.
Shanaz, I think I might need a long wee. Is it time that I need a long wee?
Just when
I think you might need to hold it in for a little longer.
Okay.
We're getting some
Okay.
credibility. You said that's what you come out with.
yeah, Cassie like sits back, does the whole like
Look, it's hard being Kudak Batilla, but yeah, Shinaz has kind of summed it up for you there. Like, there is a lot of big things happening, and people were using lots of smoke screens. But either way, you at least know that something happened to him for 10 days. Someone plugged this stuff into his
Brain.
life yacht for at least 8 days. And if you think
Yeah.
that's all well and good, then we'll crack on.
This is why
not saying we
our
have the
original target was Mira. Because if it has been memetallurgical warfare, the best people to deal with it are the few remaining experts that we have in it, who
Ending
can
up,
be
by the way.
found on Mira.
It's a bit tricky to get to right now.
We could go to Coriolis, but all of the meme experts are gone.
Yeah.
They've been recalled, funnily enough, to Mira.
but Mira's on the other side of Zalos.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I said it's a bit difficult to get to right now.
I mean, we could go back to Coriolis and go around the
The
Mirren
long way
chain.
round.
Go back
Or we could do
I get the
some
feeling that time is of the essence, though,
spectacularly
right?
good mathematical efforts, pool our resources, and forge a new
Well-
path.
and all get lost in the darkness between stars, captured by whatever took Desler and Kai for 10 days, and come back mematurged.
Or we could be captured by the Order of the Pariah and just tortured.
Or we could just be shot.
Or shot.
Cassim does a fair point. You have to do the unexpected. Like, whoever is playing this game has already planned out their next moves. We've got to get off the board.
This is why we're an unorthodox team, right? This is why we've got this mix of people.
And Kasim shakes his head. He's like, "You folks aren't a team. You're just a crew. Like, you're not sponsored or
Hey.
part of the
Hey,
consortium
we
in any way."
started a crew, but now we're a team.
High
Oh,
five you.
that was awful.
I gotta, I high
And
five
Kesh is-
Josilla and look
Kesh
at
is like-
Shanaz like,
Yes, we're a team. Yes, see, look. And Andy's like, just
High five,
take a
Kesh.
moment. Yes, families, team. Yes, good.
And whatever you think of us, Cassie, helped you complete your mission. found him for you. You didn't find him. We did.
And he puts his hands up. He's like, I have not disputed that you've been useful. What I have disputed is your honesty and your loyalty. I don't know where that lies. I don't know who sponsored you to
one,
come
not
out
the
this
other.
way.
Our loyalty is not under question. Our honesty in a moment, maybe. But that was for the mission. Okay? So that's
But
not.
I don't know
we're
who
not-
put you on this mission. You led me to believe you were on the same team as I was.
We are on the same team
No.
because we are on the team that wants to preserve the people of the Third Horizon.
My team is
That's
a chain of
the team
command,
that we're on.
and
Yeah, and we don't.
procedures.
That's the real question here, isn't it?
support.
You don't like operating outside of a chain of command.
Look, what we've seen right now is that the system isn't working. Yeah, Coriolis is crumbling. Our culture is falling apart. There's corruption through the core of it, which we've all known for a long time, but now it's rising to the top, and it's all falling apart. We can't go and report these things back like that anymore. It's just not going to work. We need to figure this out.
Okay. Go and find out what it is. Get the real Desserin back. Or you know what? You can take him to Coriolis. Everything's falling to pieces there anyway. Like, have you read the latest bulletins?
I don't read Red Spider propaganda.
Okay.
I mean, to him it is. He's like
No,
Consortium
yeah,
born and bred.
yeah.
Like he wants the
Yeah.
bulletin. That's the truth. That's Red Spider is the WikiLeaks propaganda.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not sure I can hold this pee any longer. I've got to.
Okay. I will say thank you to Adia and Kirsch and say do not turn that on again, please, unless Shanaz asks you to.
Kirsch is visibly like, oh, and Adia's like, yeah, good idea.
Gonna rewrite your brain.
Yeah. I mean, does this Ada, this place, this Earth, they know about Skavaran brains?
Do you know what that does to large rodent animals? That's really dangerous for large rodent animals. I think you better not turn it on.
It's kind of radiation.
Yeah. Kirsch is like, no, I'll break it and trade.
It's okay. Just
It's
a
good for
pamphlet.
trade, yes.
All right then.
There are very specific people we may consider trading it to, and don't worry, you will be involved in the process, which will be hilarious.
Okay. I will go and
Don't say that part out loud, Cassie.
Out of
Yes,
character.
Okay.
Mhm.
Out
I
of
thought you were
character.
to go for a
Where-
wee again.
Where is the dude?
Still in medbay.
he's still in his stasis coffin in the medical.
it's in his, it's
in the
in
medical.
med bay,
Yeah.
right? And is AJ in there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I have met him though. I have seen the pod. I have seen him. I have been like in the presence of him, right?
Mhm.
So I will just go to the toilet.
Okay. So you literally leave the room
yeah, I'm
and go
gonna
and
go
sit
to
on the loo.
Yeah,
For
sit
the
on the
benefit
loo.
of everyone who's outrageously confused by Pete's obsession with going for a wee,
Yeah.
It's just weird.
My character has
Learn to
mystic
live.
powers, and I mind walk, and I say I'm going for a long wee, and then I go roll my eyes back, and like
have a long
Yeah.
wee.
Yeah.
Have a long week.
occasionally I come out of mind walk, and I have actually done a long wee. It's a weird
Because it's a long
experience.
time in mind walking.
Yeah.
Also, out of character, do you think we should ask for the 48 hours? So, Mira, 48 hours, Coriolis, unless you say otherwise. He might feel better with a time limit, with some control.
I don't know that 48 hours will be enough, but
It might be enough to persuade him that there's
it might be
something-
enough to persuade him that something can be done.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Or that something needs to be done. It's a short enough time that he might accept it. Because he's very stick in the mud, so...
Go for it.
Commander Kasim, give us 48 hours on Mira to do what we can to save Desserin Kai's mind.
I mean, we don't even know anything successful.
Exactly. But we also don't know whether it's unsuccessful. And when he comes out of that, if they're even slightly successful, he's going to say, no, I feel fine, until he's triggered and activated. I noticed that you didn't become agitated until I did not match your call and response before I jump.
Well,
at that point, had I been able to correctly give you the exact code that you were fishing for, you would have continued about our path utterly oblivious, and no harm would have come to anybody. All we've done is spend the last day arguing about whether or not we're doing the right thing. Whether we're doing the right thing or not, we're attempting to do the right thing, and we are taking steps to protect this person who is your charge right now. I don't want to take him to Mirror so that unpleasant things can be done to him. I want to take him there so that unpleasant things can be undone from him. To the best people outside of the Order of the Pariah who are able to deprogram the minds of others.
The only problem was when I realized your loyalties are not where they said they were. I don't know whether you are actually allied with the folks who were trying to program Desser and Kai, and in order to finish this programming, we have to take them back to the best mimeturgy centers of the horizon to wrap up whatever you're doing. I've only got any gestures at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Which conveniently you broke during the firefight, which conveniently your techs have deciphered.
I've had it, mate. Oh, you were in that.
I appreciate I was there, yeah. I saw your buddy and he gestures.
Saying, awful.
No. Your mystic friend here said this.
Okay.
Like, I'm writing a narrative you folks have entirely structured, led by somebody who is famed for storytelling. And you're asking me to just jump in and believe you when you've deceived me for the past 3 days? And I'm just supposed to be happy that we're all on the same team with no actual proof that we're on the same team because you haven't got the right command calls. And I'm not supposed to call my superiors because everything in Coriolis is falling down. Yes, ma'am, let's do it.
But if we genuinely meant you any harm, we have had countless opportunities to visit it upon you. Before and since. We don't want to do you any harm. We want to do the right thing. We want to have a member of the Coriolis Council who is safe and well and able to return to their duties without outside influence. If you want, you can sit in on every single minute of every single session of the time with him. You can have a rotating guard placed on him from among your own people.
What I want is to get out of this high-level political mission, get my VIP back to the people he belongs to, and go out and do something that just involves shooting people.
Understandable. I'm sure Captain Silsilla feels the same a lot of the time after he gets dragged around on some ridiculous high-level political mission by...
Still, like, events. I've been like...
And he shakes his head. He's like, you've changed, Sil.
I have. You're entirely correct.
You've
I really
changed.
have. Like, I have
People
my
do
eyes
that.
open. And now, like, it has to be the right thing, right time. It can't just be, this guy says it's the right thing. And I totally appreciate where you are, because that's a hard fucking road to go from you to me. And I'm not, there's no shaking that. So, if it makes you any better, you're welcome to take my pistol and my sword and hold on to them until we get to Mira. So if something really bad happens, I have no way of defending myself.
He's like, no.
And one eye.
Yeah, and your one eye. And he's like, look, if me and my boys wanted to try and take this ship, no offense, we could.
I wink at it.
And he goes, and he reaches over and like too much shawarma and Musaa Kula going on in that belly, Silsilla. We could. It's easier to get to one place without having to murder everybody on the ship. We should go back to Coriolis. If you're saying you're doing the right thing, petition the right folks on the Coriolis Council, keep him in stasis, take the long way around to Mira. I'm happy this mission is over. If you're going to say we're going to instead make an unconnected, do you understand?
Yes, we do.
You understand this? And he points towards where, the hangar bay is. We fought strange dog creatures from the darkness between the stars because you folks decided to stay awake. Can you imagine what's going to happen when we take a route uncharted between two unconnected portals and hopefully arrive somewhere? Even the Foundation doesn't know how the portals stations work. Even the Foundation doesn't know why specific portals don't also allow us to travel further afield, and there are literally point connections between next neighboring star systems.
Perhaps there is another way we could do this. Perhaps we could just go our separate ways. You take Dessa and Kai back to Coriolis. I'm sure if your mission has high enough authority, you could probably co-opt one of the ships that's currently being used to guard the portal station and take that. We don't want to stop you. And you can get him back to Coriolis. You can open up the pot. You can tell them all of the things we've warned you about. But I can tell you now, what will happen will be that they will ignore it. They will ignore you. They'll pop him out of there, give him a quick check over, say everything's fine, pop him back into service on the Coriolis Council. And then just when everything seems to be getting better again, that's when the actual damage will drop. But you won't be there. We won't be there. It won't be either of our problems to deal with, either of our faults to deal with. We would be passing the problem up the chain of command to someone else to deal with.
Or this 1,000-year-old weird tech you're talking about didn't work, and we're getting hysterical over nothing.
Well, let's go and wake him up now then.
Well, we were going to, but...
We'll do it then. We'll wake him up now.
And a little text appears on Shanaz's phone saying, give it 5 minutes. Now, while they've been talking, I went off 5 minutes ago to go to the toilet.
Yeah. All right.
But we'd agreed this was going to happen anyway. We decided that if the need arose when we got to Orion, we found ourselves at an impasse, that we would wake up Dessa and Kai if that was your wish. If that is your wish, we will wake up Dessa and Kai. And he can make the decision.
He's clearly a little bit more nervous about waking up Dessa and Kai than he was before. But he is also a simple chap with, chain of command.
I've been so hands off with this guy. I have not tried to manipulate him since the incident on the bridge. Yeah. If I bring the full weight of my mind to bear on him, and I'm trying not to because I don't want to give him an excuse to, oh no, she made me do it.
Bene Gesserit and their yeah, I've taken the darkness point, Pete, so you might as well make use of Mystic Power roll. Unless you want me to put the darkness point back.
No, oh, sorry, hang
on. One success.
Yay.
So mind walking lets you experience what they're experiencing right now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to do I don't know whether it's a mind walker or a mind reader. I've got, both powers to be able to go into his brain and see what's going on, basically.
Just go through the files.
Yeah, just rifle around in his little squidgy brain. What is?
I'm imagining either a white chamber,
Mhm.
yeah, like in Star Trek, or one of those kind of theatre moments where everyone I know is playing out parts of his psyche.
Oh, we're doing the holodeck.
Sounds more fun.
I've been watching Deep Space Nine again, so I'm imagining either of those two things.
All right, so you mind walk. It's 1950s Earth. Destering
And
Kai
Avery
is,
Brooks is his common
Jesus,
sense.
Yeah.
what the hell? Like, where the
Destering
hell?
Kai is a writer for a newspaper.
Yeah.
You are a policeman. No, right. It's a baseball metaphor. No, wait. Yeah.
It's linear.
And the soundtrack is all jazz all the time.
Quality of being. Okay. All right. So you just read to me what Mind Reader is. I don't think Mind Walker is applicable right now, but just
Mind reader is like the surface thoughts, what's going on in their mind at the time. Mind walker is to like have all
through
their
their eyes.
perception.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's mind reader is like,
Yeah.
what's going on in the top of the mind right now, kind of thing.
all right.
My brain explodes,
Yes.
or I get
We're gonna go to
mematurged.
medbay and step in with that carbine thing going. "Whoa."
Yeah. Like, kill that motherfucker now.
I see you unpersuadable dick.
I see him, you unpersuadable dick. Rude. He's just trying to be a good soldier.
No reason whatsoever that remind you of Universal Soldier, that pretty really old film.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. With the muscles from Brussels.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever
An
watched
Dolph.
JCVD?
oh, that's a good film.
Is that Van Diggers?
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly.
Jean-Claude Van Damme drives diggers. Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's just 2 hours of him knocking. No, it's the one where he plays himself. The real life Jean-Claude Van Damme goes into a post office and there's like a robbery. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was excellent. Yeah.
Does he do the splits and save the day?
Well, it's not really a normal Jean-Claude Van Damme
Gotta do the
movie.
splits, right?
But yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. It is worth watching. It's a bit like.
Where can I watch it?
I have no idea because I watched like 20 probably. But like Copland, where you sort of get the action star who does that one movie that's not an action movie they're really good at.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah. And the bits where he's being emotional about his life, it sort of feels a bit real.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Lifting the lid.
Yeah, it's But,
yeah. Sorry, I know there's a relevant bit here that will be good.
Speaking of old movies, I watched Top Gun sequel.
Maverick.
Yeah. And I've got to say, it was pretty, for what it wanted to be, it was perfect. Like, I'm not saying it's an amazing movie.
It did. Yeah, it does exactly what it says on the tin, right?
But
You
they apply that
it's
cliche in the right way, in the right level of cliche.
It's the same film, though, right?
It's a little different.
They play the same song on the piano. They have
yeah, there's a very much
They
like
play volleyball on the beach.
Remember we did this thing in the first one?
Yeah. But they do that really
Fun
well.
fact, though, Maverick is totally not an appropriate name for him anymore because it's wild and carefree young male cow. A maverick is, in fact, a young steer that has not been castrated.
I mean,
thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Is there a name for an old steer that hasn't been castrated?
Well, actually, steer is a separate term. I can't remember what that one's for off the top of my head.
Okay, fair enough then. I'm learning a lot about ruminants.
Oh my goodness.
Etymology.
Hang on, I will find it. It's in one of
I've leveled up in animal husbandry.
Yeah, sorry, it's in one of the little sidebars.
That's okay.
I've got that stupid.
Oh, they're stealthy, they are.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, everyone can go and check out the Heroic Deeds Quick Start pack on Drive Through RPG, which I think that link. Oh no, That's wrong.
And is it? Oh, it's not on Patreon, is it? It's on a separate Patreon because it's new and shiny and spectacular.
It's on the Heroic
It's
Deeds one.
it's on Drive Through RPG.
Oh,
So I can track how many people have downloaded it and send them all an email later.
Begging letters.
That's the one. Here we go. Hang on. Bosh. That should work.
oh, come on.
And if not, you can always go to Discord and find stuff there.
It's 100% free, and there's a 30-odd page rulebook for pre-generated characters and a dungeon level adventure.
So, what if it was 99% free? What would that mean?
Pay for
That
the
would
last
mean
page.
I'd charge you about 5p.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Old school, like tuppence a penny or a doubloon.
Doubloons, definitely
Half a bob.
doubloons. 7 and 6.
Half a bob,
Exactly.
3p.
Halfpenny. A bob is a shilling or 10p, isn't it?
I thought say shilling was 6p. It's not decimal, isn't it?
Half a bob would be 6p.
Half a bob would be screaming, "My God, I'm in pain! Someone's cut my legs off!"
Okay.
I mean,
I can't find it right now, Yusuf.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
I can't find it, and I feel like I'm taking too long to try and find it. But the only thing, like, and it's almost like an echo, like, because
Right.
he doesn't have much brain activity. He's not
Sure.
dreaming in stasis. He's not. Nothing's kind of going on. There's just like an echo of somebody whispering a name. Like,
What's the name?
yeah, well, that's what I can't find.
Oh, okay.
That's what I can't find.
Okay, cool.
But safe to say, I know Yusuf, because he's obviously got not much of a culture.
Sure.
That kind of stuff. Yusuf has never heard of this name.
Sure.
Like,
Mhm.
so it could be the name of a person or a place. You know, it's like Rosebud style. What is it, sort of thing.
I got an out of character.
You've got an out of character bet.
Yeah.
I nearly said something then, which might have given something away, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, so Yusuf does this moment, and it's silence as you're looking in this white, empty space of Desrin Kai's brain. Not much going on. Like, stood on this kind of thing, you walk towards Desrin Kai, who stood far away. As you get up close to him, you lean into him, he just whispers a name in Yusuf's ear. And that would be the end of the program if it was an episode on it. And then,
Dun,
yeah,
dun, dun.
credits roll. They do that thing like American TVs do, where it shows you things next time on
Next time
Messi
on
the Icons.
Space.
Yeah.
Explosions in space, people running, shooting, but you can't tell who's doing it.
Spaceships you've seen before and
Shanaz.
loved from a very long time ago.
Shanaz slapping the table with beautiful ringed hands going, "Listen to me, damn it." You know, that kind of stuff.
A seam disappearing out of an airlock.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be Kassim. It would be someone. You
Yes.
wouldn't be able to see the face
A
in that
silhouetted
slip,
figure.
in that
Yeah. All those
preview
things.
thing, would you?
That's true.
Coming down and then being, quite cold for no reason. Which have nothing to do with the airlock. You find out about 15 minutes in.
All this and more on Gobbler Games, Messi the Icons, Coriolis, Fork Tongues, things like that. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's got to end soon. We need XP.
Most of the icons, long week, like 7.
Part 7. Well, yeah.
Can you imagine if you got XP after every session? How hench you'd be after that.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have
books.
had any problems persuading him to do what we wanted, would we?
Just bench presses.
I mean, we should go back and look at Kashar, Zillions, and Carvis's character sheets, because they got quite hench towards the end of their run.
I quite enjoy being.
Yeah, she's still
Oh, we're not doing too bad for what we've got. In fairness, we're still fairly.
I've just bought
hench.
lots of talents, so I've got no skills.
I've got a billion talents. I'm totally with you there.
But yeah, that's all we're going to do this week. Means I've got time to find the right name. And next week we can start with Yusuf blurting the name. Or not.
Dave,
Just shouting a name from the bathroom. It'd be great. Like, what is that, Zenny for toilet
Yeah,
paper?
it's just like really loud. Oh, he always shouts that at the end.
We won't explain at the end of what. We'll just leave that a mystery.
Yeah.
If you joined us from the Modiphius Road, we promised we'd explain what other things are happening on Gobbler Games this week. So it's Tuesday today. We've just played Coriolis, which means tomorrow is Wednesday. Somebody help me. Where are we up to on Wednesdays at Garblags at the minute?
crossbones and shillings,
Yeah.
and crossbones
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
might be happening.
Quite often we have Warhammer Wednesday, but we might be on a hiatus this moment. But that's okay, because on Thursday,
Thursday.
it's just 2D20 everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah. We're coming back to June, the last part of our June saga following House Dargouche. It is House Dargouche 3, Hanley. Dun, dun, dun. Yep. Oh, yeah. And we're going to have a little bit of character time next week, a little bit of a short one next week. And then the week after, we're going to play some of the faction game from Houses of the Landsrad,
Nice.
where we look at what's happened to change the direction of House Dargouche from the first episode right the way through till this point. The rise of Dela Dargouche to maybe being the head of house, if not the primary heir. And then we're going to be jumping across to Arrakis. You may have heard of it. It's a desert planet. Yeah, they mine spice there.
My Arrakis.
Something about
And
worms.
it will be starting at the duel between Paul and Fade in the throne room in Arakeen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I will kill him.
So it is Canley.
Got your waist blade. What's that for?
Do I have your knife, Emperor?
Hmm.
Is this true? I was watching the June miniseries the other day. Absolutely crazy. So OTT scene chewing amazingness. So June starts this Thursday.
I can't watch that one. The Harkonnens in it I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, they're brilliant, but also terrible. And then I'm not sure where we're up to with
We're having an Edge of Empire interlude.
Oh.
Whilst Aaron builds up to some truly horrific Conan 2D20.
Nice. All right, so a little bit of FFG.
He's been warming up on the Lollygaggers channel, so you should go and check them out as well, because they do some awesome stuff. And there were like serpent gods, orgies, horrible beheadings, all kinds of stuff going on. So
all Conan.
Just getting in the right mood for doing it on Garblag Games.
Excellent. And that's a week in Garblag, isn't it?
Yep.
We not got anything. No, we're not doing Fridays at the minute.
Not doing Fridays or Mondays at the minute. Although we have started making sounds about the third part of our One Ring Lord of the Rings story coming up maybe in June by the looks of things.
June?
Not in June with a J.
After Dune
After
in June.
In June. The Ballad of the Bardings.
Oh,
nice. Well, if we said that all too fast, come and join our Discord where we can tell you it at a more leisurely pace. Or if you just want to jump into, because we were talking about Star Trek Adventures, there's a bunch of that on our YouTube channel. It's also the the previous sessions of House Dargouche and Steve Chabicat, 2D20 Acton Cthulhu, all that. And then there's Warhammer and more Coriolis and all kinds of stuff. So just come and join in. Just come on. Thank you for sticking around. Now, roll up your sleeves and get stuck in. And I think that's everything I could possibly tell you about.
Arthur 9000?
Next week.
Okay.
Next week. One day.
I said Monday.
Monday. I need to tell everybody about it on Monday.
Oh.
The space. Space. We're in space.
I know.
We're in space.
More space.
More space. But yeah.
Can I have a robot horse?
Yes.
I'm in.
Whoa, Brave.
No, exactly. If you're wondering what we're jabbering about and what folks are trying to bait me into, again, come and join the Discord and I'll tell you more there. But yeah, thanks for joining us. If you were here at the start, thank you very much for sticking around. And we'll see you soon. There we go. I'm gonna go now before I start jabbering at everything. Bye bye.